So the last book I read, which you probably saw in my feed, is Five Broken Blades. Now everybody's been talking about this because of how pretty the book is. However, I got it as an ARC copy with NetGalley, and I listened to it because I got the audiobook for NetGalley, which is awesome. I loved it. I loved it, but I wasn't overly in love with it, so I'll tell you why. The Five Broken Blades is about a group of people who come together in order to unalive the king. Now, the reason why five people are needed is because in order to unalive the king, you have to take his crown. The crown is what makes him immortal. If he doesn't have the crown, he's not immortal. A bunch of different people get together. One is a thief, one is like a poison person, so she can kill people with poisons. There's some other people who were involved. I forgot what their specific like things were. I think one was the prince or like the brother to the king. So like in order for him to kind of come along with it, he would end up being king after that. So it was that. It was a very heist type feel to it. So all these people came together and then ended up carrying out the heist at the end. Now, the book gives five different perspectives throughout the entire thing, but it's not a first person perspective sort of. It's like you're still kind of third person, but you're looking through their eyes, so to speak. The audiobook, you do have different voices doing this, which is kind of cool. I liked that the pacing on the audiobook is the same for everyone. So when I was listening to Atlas 6, there's one of the narrators who speaks very fast, which would be great in general. However, because of the fact that I put my speed up in audiobooks, his speed was even faster than what I was listening to. So it's like I would have had to bring it down like half a speed in order for it to be like right. So this one was great because they were all the same. You follow these five different people throughout the entire book, and sometimes if you step away from it, you kind of like, what does that person do again? But the author gives you enough context within the book for you to understand what's going on, which is awesome. I was also not aware that this is a part one of a series, which is pretty cool because I was wondering how things were going to pan out going forward, because at the end, it leads into there being a book two. Now, the cool thing is that since many of the books for this, I guess, first run were all like really pretty, I'm wondering if the books are going to have like if they're going to be cohesive with their design on the edges, because there's some, like if you get the sprayed edge version of ACOTAR or anything like that where somebody does them, it makes like a scene. Or I don't know if you could see it, but behind me I have the Scythe series, and they, if you put them all next to each other, they like line up into like a really cool picture. So I'm wondering if this is going to do the same thing with the sprayed edges of this book, since so many of them have the sprayed edges. But overall, I thought this book was pretty decent. When I got to the end, I liked it more than when I was reading it, because there was times where I was like, okay, I'm not really that invested in what was going on. But when I got to the end, I was like, okay, this is where it's like ramping up. And I think because there are so many people involved in the book, you have to get like the different perspectives all throughout. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it depends on your attention span, because mine is like, just get to what I need to know. Like, it was kind of slow for me because there wasn't much happening at any specific time. You're just learning about the characters and what they're going through pretty much the entire time. Overall, I think it was a good book, though, especially when you get to the end, because everything comes together and you find out what exactly is going on. Kind of like in the last third of the book, I was able to figure out what was going on, but I wasn't entirely sure until things really started going down. And then I'm like, yeah, this is definitely what's happening. So you can kind of figure it out, but maybe not really. So I suggest it. So if you haven't picked it up and you're like debating on it, you could pick it up. It's pretty cool.